Hello everyone, welcome back to Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. We're on chapter 17 now, and we're gonna see what's going on here, because we are definitely getting close to the end. I wonder if it's like 20 chapters. 20 would be a nice round number of chapters. The upended submarine continues to sink, slowly but surely. A long, long journey to the bottom of the sea. Lynn and the little lady found the darkness and the salt water closing in on them, but at the very last second, something saved them. Now it looks down at them quietly. Interesting. My head is filled with one giant question. What in the world is this thing? That's a great question. I'm sure we'll find out. Okay, so it is moving. Yeah, understandable reaction. It would be... I'd be screaming too. Okay. It's like a bunch of things that can move and assemble itself. Is that Sissel? I see you managed to survive, Detective. Hey, you're... Excuse my appearance, I seem to have lost my body. So this is Sissel. Like the real Sissel, not me. Oh, and you there. You're the ghost who's been saving Lynn all evening, aren't you? You knew about me all along? Yeah, that would be me. I'm the guy. Of course. What else would explain all those unnatural things happening? If you knew, how come you didn't do anything about it all this time? And how come you decided to save us all of a sudden? Yeah, don't you want her dead? Or maybe he's like, no, it has to be me that does it. But even then, like, he's still... Like, it wasn't him killing her at any point. I don't know what's up with this guy. Hang on, let me adjust my microphone. It was a little bit too high. It was getting in the way of my vision. Thought you wanted to get revenge on us? Change of heart? I don't really know. Please, you gotta tell me. I need to know. Who in the world are you? Sissel, look at you, what happened? I can't hold on to that image of myself any longer. You can't remember who you are? That's right. I came all this way tonight trying to chase down my lost memory. For quite a bit of tonight, I thought I was you, Sissel. Sissel? My name isn't Sissel. Yeah, Jowd did mention that. Jowd was like, I did know that man, but I didn't know him by the name Sissel. I bet you'll remember really soon. Who you are, and who I am, too. What? Okay. The man in front of me is not me. I'm even further away from the truth. Or maybe not. Something is stirring in my mind, a memory about to emerge. Do I know this man? Now that I've shed my image of myself, I feel like I'm one step closer to the truth. I am fully in this. Okay, maybe he's changed. I'm skeptical, and I am doubtful, and I'm going to keep being suspicious of this guy. They got us good. It's all over for this submarine. Its engine room is destroyed, there's a hole in the hull, and it's sinking as we speak. What are you doing here? I thought you had a deal with those people? They betrayed me. I was a fool to trust them. They already have what they wanted now. Yeah, they kind of just yoinked the meteorite out of his back and left. The Temsek fragment. I didn't know they had it all figured out. You mean they figured out the source of your powers? Yeah. That meteorite's radiation has two effects on living creatures. It gives power and time. If you don't mind, we'd like to hear more. Radiation's power effect. Sure, let's go top to bottom. These 10 years, I've been watching that junkyard superintendent do his research. I think I've kind of got some of it figured out. The meteorite's radiation gives spirits special powers, like possessing and manipulating objects. And in my case, swapping objects. Forgot you were here, Missile, but glad to see you. Exactly. Apparently, there are individual differences in the powers we get. And it seems these powers change as time goes by. They do? Yeah, my powers have changed over these past 10 years. At first, I could only manipulate small, living creatures. Now then, how do you suppose we got these powers? By being within proximity to a piece of the meteorite. That's my guess. It's simple. It is? How then? In a nutshell, we died while exposed to the energy emitted by the meteorite. It's radiation. That's close enough to my guess, so I will take that as a win. That's what does it? Dying while being exposed to the radiation? On that day 10 years ago. Yeah, the meteorite hit him. And then he still fell in that position. That is hilarious. I love that. A fragment of that... Sorry. This is probably... I'm laughing at what's probably supposed to be a moderately serious scene. A fragment of that meteorite pierced my heart, and I died. So, of course, I received special powers. Hey, wait a minute. Is that how I got my powers, too? You know, you might be right. Yeah, because missile fell into the crater. The meteorite was like just underneath him, and you could see it radiating. Sorry, had to burp. Aren't the Temzik remnants still right there in that park at the bottom of the crater? You're right. So that must mean I must have died in the presence of the meteorite's radiation too. Well, we did start like right at where Sissel's body was, which is part of why we, the main character, believed ourselves to be Sissel. I mean, Sissel with quotes, because it's not actually his name. So, honestly, I really have no idea who we are at this point. I'm assuming, like, it has to be someone we're at least aware of, because it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to not be, for that not to be the case. I don't know. I'm just rambling. We should just keep going. Okay, radiation's time effect. Another effect the meteorite's radiation has on us is that it gives us time. Again, I think this time effect is centered around the theme of death, but it's not all that clear. So the fact that I can return to 4 minutes before a person's death is another effect of that meteorite? One of the characteristics of that meteorite is its ability to replay the moment of death. Replay the moment of death? This is also strange and confusing. I can't take it all in. It makes about as much sense to me as anything else. Yeah, Missile's a dog, so he doesn't really understand much. Yeah, strange and confusing. That just about sums up the object that pierced my body that day. Thanks to that meteorite fragment. My very existence is a contradiction. What do you mean? Well, he's both dead and alive, so... There's that. That day, when the fragment pierced my heart, I lost my life. However, because it remained inside of me, that fragment continued to constantly regenerate my body. In other words, my body was continuously cycling between the moments that separated my life and death. What? My body's vital functions stopped 10 years ago, but my body's time is perpetually stopped at the moment just before death. Time just stopped, huh? So I just simply existed, not really alive and not really dead. That pretty much sums up these last 10 years for me, ever since that incident in the park. My body hasn't aged a day, my hair hasn't grown an inch. Come to think of it, that old pigeon guy mentioned something. He said he couldn't cut this guy's body with the scalpel. Right, it would just, like, close up every time he tried. So I guess, as soon as an incision was made, his body would be regenerated. Wow. Revenge. Before I left this country, I wanted to do one thing. I wanted to get revenge on the people who stole our lives. Our lives? As part of the deal, I made those guys promise to cooperate. Cooperate? You mean the kidnapping? It all went fine. I manipulated the justice minister and made him issue the execution order, but I thought he might call off the execution at the last second. So that's why you wanted his daughter kidnapped. Well, you grabbed the wrong sorry, I tried to say kid and child at the same time, and it almost came out as Kyled, which is not a word. But they kidnapped the wrong girl. Yeah, Lynn's got it. Little did I know, they had their own reasons for cooperating with me. Huh? Their objective was to wipe out everybody who had to do with Temzik. Right, nearsighted Jigo mentioned that. It was like, we've been ordered to wipe out every last Temzik in the country. Which initially sounded like a racist thing, but no. Detective Jowd was one such person, so they were happy to cooperate. Inspector Cabanella and that junkyard super, they were slated to be wiped out too. And I've saved all of them, and as it turns out... I was one of their targets as well. Okay. Because obviously anyone who knew about the fragments would include him, so they also wanted to get rid of him. So they stole my Temzik fragment, and here I am. So I'm guessing that means his body is pretty much gone at this point, because the fragment's not in it anymore, if I understand that correctly. But they had one more final target. Lynn. You, Detective. Me? If you weren't there in the park that day 10 years ago, I never would have thought of doing something as stupid as taking a hostage. You're still blaming a child? Dude, like, come on. Get real. Okay. But I was just a little kid playing in the park. Yeah, I know. Huh? 10 years later, and you'd become a detective looking into Jowd's case. Tonight, I invited you to a quiet spot on the edge of town. It was a trap. Right, he told her something. I told you who I was. You never saw my face that day 10 years ago. So, of course, you didn't recognize me. That's what he told her. You know, she didn't believe it. He's like, well, it's true. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm standing right here. And then I took possession of you to make you shoot me. Yep, we had that figured out. Which also explains why he just stood there. So it wasn't that he let her shoot him, it was that he made her shoot him. Your subconscious resisted me. Such incredible power. It's the first time I wasn't able to control somebody completely. Right, the first shot missed. The aim was off, and the first shot missed the mark. And then the second one hit. The junkyard was equipped with security cameras. I knew you'd be wanted for murder. That was my plan, anyway. Oh, true, but then the hitman showed up, which he didn't know was going to happen, because why try to frame her for murder if she was, like, gonna die immediately afterwards? But they had other ideas. They simply wanted you wiped out. But then, something threw a big monkey wrench into their scheme. Me. Haha. It was me. I showed up. I was supposed to meet up with them after that. But then something went wrong. What happened? My body disappeared. Aha! The inspector in white was responsible for that one. My precious bargaining chip was in that body. I had to get it back no matter what. That inspector caused me no end of trouble.
But why were those people targeting me? I never even heard of the Temzik meteorite.
Because you were looking into the Jowd case. They thought you would find out about Temzik sooner or later. I guess I'm out of things to ask him about. How are we getting out of this one, gang? Okay, I guess we're just not worried about that. That's pretty much the whole story. The only thing left to do now is wait for water pressure to crush this submarine.
Oh no.
There are no cores that link from here to the water's surface. I have an idea. We hook up the phone line, and there are no communication cables down this deep. They meant for the submarine to be my coffin. A coffin for the dead. There's no escape. Well, that's depressing, and now I feel sad. Can we at least try to think?
I think I kind of understand now. What you've been feeling these 10 years.
You what?
This feeling, cut off from the world, all alone in a submarine, sinking slowly toward the bottom of an endless sea. This must be how you felt all along.
Oh no, the child's awake.
Lynn? Camilla? Is it true? We're stuck here? What? Oh,
Yeah, kiddo, looks like we're about to drown.
If my dad was here, I bet he'd save us.
Yeah, we have no idea what happened to Jowd. He just went off in the control room.
Oh, Camilla, I'm so sorry.
That's funny. What is it, Sissel? There's something I don't understand. Why would they go to all the trouble of detaching the control room? What? They just steal the Temsek fragment and escape if that's what they wanted. Why did they have to jettison your body off into the sea? That's a good question. But I guess it doesn't matter why now. We'll never find it again. We have no idea where it was launched to.
Wait a minute. Yes, we do.
Oh, right.
This will tell us where Detective Jowd is.
A present from the inspector in white.
That's right. Detective Jowd told me to hold on to it for him. And the bullet is still in this person's body in the command room, right? Then we should be able to tell exactly where it is with this.
But even if we find out where it is, how do we get there?
We should be able to figure something out between the three of us. With our powers. Right, Miss Lynn? Right. Oh, and wait a minute. What about a torpedo?
A torpedo?
In any case, it's way too early to give up.
Sorry, had to burp. Looks like Detective Jowd is our last hope.
Come on, let's get started.
Okay, what's happening here, gang? I think that's Sissel. I'm trying to talk to Camilla. Okay, I guess we're just talking to Sissel. Oh no, that's Missile, my bad.
Okay, what do we do now?
I think it's better to remember that I am Sissel, because Sissel's not that guy's name. That guy is... he's some other guy. We go find the command room that was launched somewhere into the sea.
What? How? Just to let you know, I don't like water very much.
According to Lynn, the key to our plane is a torpedo. Kind of a missile.
Missile? You have a missile right here.
A different kind. Not the doggy kind. I don't think she's talking about that kind of a missile. Now then, where did we see another torpedo? Can I talk to Camilla? There we go. How you doing, kiddo?
So my dad isn't here in the submarine?
Don't worry. We're going to go get him right now.
Okay. I hope I didn't hurt Lynn's feelings. What I said about my dad saving us if he was here. Oh, don't worry about that. Comments like that just roll right off Miss Lynn's back. She's really thick-skinned.
Ouch.
I'm going to start being tougher, too. I want to make my dad proud of me.
I'm sure he already is. I have no doubt he already is.
Miss Camilla.
I'm sure your dad is very proud of you, Camilla. Lynn! How's it going? What do you got in mind?
So his shell is definitely there in the command room, right? Just without the fragment?
It's there, yeah, but I don't know about calling it a shell.
Detective Jowd's watch will tell us exactly where it is.
Right. He said it was a radio receiver, didn't he?
There might still be another torpedo on this submarine. If we use it, we can get to Detective Jowd.
That's a brilliant plan, Detective.
You think so?
So what are you going to do? Ride on top of the torpedo?
Of course not. You guys are going to go.
Darn. Kind of wanted to see that. Did you want to see me drown? Can I do anything? I mean, I don't want to open the door. That seems like a bad idea. Guess I just operate the control panel? Oh, there's... grapes? Why is this machine shoving grapes at me?
Well, this looks like the private cabin of the top officer, doesn't it? This machine is probably for feeding him grapes while he lies in bed. Oh, it sounds heavenly!
I've been thinking about this for a while now, but don't you think that country's use of technology is just a little off? Says the guy who made a deal with said country.
Anyway, it looks like the arm of this machine is a bit busted.
Mechanical arm? There's a telephone. Okay, it will get me to torpedo or engine room. Cool. And I cannot go any further than that. Okay, I guess I have to... Let's try the torpedo room.
The torpedo room, huh?
There might be another torpedo left there. I'll go check it out.
Oh, I get it. You're going to use a missile to ram the control room.
Well, I don't know about ram. We don't want to blow Detective Jowd up, but something like that.
We'll climb up to the torpedo room, too. Up is definitely safer.
Okay, I'll see you there, then. Don't die. Lynn will be very upset if you die again.
Looks like the torpedoes can be launched manually with these switches. There are 2 tubes, so there should be 1 more left. I guess the first thing we have to do is load it into the tube. When it comes to missiles, you can count on me! I'll enter the coordinates of the command room into the torpedo.
How do you know how to operate a torpedo? Whatever, man. Just accept it.
And I just turned on the backup power. We ought to be able to use the switches now.
Okay, let's try it.
Good luck.
I'll do my best. What am I doing? I don't think I turned the valve.
What will happen to these 2 ladies?
I think that's up to us, and our powers.
What?
This is no time to be standing around unsure of ourselves. Will you lend me your strength missile?
Me? Of course I will. Count on it.
I know I can count on you, buddy. How's it going there?
I'm just calculating the command room's coordinates now. I have to put in a slight offset, though. Don't want to blow it up.
I'm sure Detective Jowd would appreciate that.
Well, leave this to me. Good luck with loading the missile.
Okay, thanks. Maybe the switch won't budge. Maybe it's broken? I don't think the entire device is broken, though. It'd probably work just fine if only I could move this switch. I just have to find a way to move it somehow. But I can't do it with my powers alone. But I turn the valve. That achieved approximately nothing. What if I swap it? Can I now... I love that, like down here it still has Sissel's face as the icon to switch from missile to Sissel. Okay, yeah, that one works. There we go. That torpedo looks serviceable.
All set on this end, too. But something's odd.
What is?
The command room. It looks like it's slowly sinking.
Sinking?
Yeah, like it's completely run out of power. I wonder what happened.
I don't know, but I guess I'll find out.
Right. Okay, hop into the missile. I'll launch it for you.
Okay, thanks. What if I go to the engine room? I don't think there's gonna be anything. It's just telling me to go in the missile.
I've already set the torpedo's course. It'll head toward the command room where Detective Jowd is. 12 seconds after launching, it'll pass by the command room for an instant. That instant will be your window of opportunity to jump over to the command room.
Okay, got it. And then we'll find a way to come back and save you. That'll probably be my last task tonight. Just hold on until we get back. Here we go. Okay, come on, missile. Missile?
I'm sorry, I can't go.
What?
I just can't. How could I leave? I can't leave Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla behind.
Oh, what do you say? How do I find the log? I can't do it. Okay. Missile?
I swapped the switches so the missile can be launched. You'll have to do the rest, Sissel.
So you're leaving me on my own, is what you're saying. Cool. Cool. Oh, man. Oh, well. I can't do it either. I can't ask Missile to come with me after that. I understand exactly how he feels.
I want you to go, Missile. What? But Miss Lynn, you staying here won't change our fate. But if you go with Sissel, you might be able to make something happen. And that's our only hope. But what if that something doesn't happen? I'll never be able to see you again. Never, ever again. Even I can understand that. I couldn't stand that. Don't worry, Missile. Miss Camilla? I just know you and Sissy can make something happen. I believe in you. I'll be right here waiting for you. We'll see each other then, don't worry.
Come on.
Miss Camilla!
Let's go, bud.
That's a good boy, Missile. Now, are you ready? Remember, it's 12 seconds after I throw this switch.
We're ready. Do you expect me to, like, keep track in real life? Because I don't have a stopwatch. Do I need one?
Sissel?
Yes?
We never found out who you really were. But that doesn't matter now. All I know is, I'm truly glad I met you tonight. Thank you. For everything.
And I'm glad I met you, Detective.
But we're gonna see each other again, right, Sissy? Right, Missile?
That's right. We promise, little lady.
Of course we will. I'll never forget you. No matter what happens.
Here goes, then. You're gonna make me cry.
Good luck, friend.
You guys are gonna make me cry. I cry easily. It does not take much to make me cry. These 12 seconds are lasting an eternity. Strive to think of a way to save Lynn and the little lady the whole time. But how can a ray of light, of hope, reach this far down into the deep sea? Before I can think of an answer, the 12 seconds are up. Sorry, had to burp again. Had to burp again. Oh, he's unconscious. Detective Jowd.
I bet that big masked man did this. I'm going to bite him.
You better not, you might break your teeth. The command room has lost power and is sinking. So I wonder what this masked man is going to do. Holy shit, I cannot talk.
Let's talk to Detective Jowd.
Is he dead, or just unconscious? Sorry for the wait, Detective Jowd. Who are you? Are you... Sissel? Please excuse my appearance. I can't believe you made it here. How is Camilla? And what about Lynn? They are trapped in a submarine. And if they don't get out of it, they're probably going to die. Well, it's kind of a long story. I told Detective Jowd about everything that happened on the submarine Yonoa. So the submarine is badly damaged? Why would he do that to his own submarine? I wish I knew. I know the answer to that one. It's because he's afraid of my powers. You? You followed us? I didn't even notice. Been 10 long years, Detective Jowd. Are you... Yomiel? Is that his name? Yomiel? So you remember me, do you? How could I possibly forget? So that's your real name, huh? Yomiel? That's right. But those people in the Yonoa were calling you Sissel? That's just an alias I was using for my deal with them. I didn't see any need to tell them my real name. Fair enough. Could you do me a favor? Will you let me ask you some questions? I've been trying to find out my true identity all night. Sure, go ahead. I'm sure there's plenty we can still tell you. Right, Detective Jowd? Right. About yomiel, I guess. 10 years ago, you were a top systems engineer, weren't you?
Systems engineer? What's that?
An engineer for systems.
By the way, I'm a top Pomeranian, you know.
Well, it's kind of hard to explain to a dog, but it's a person who's good at using computers. I don't mean to brag, but I was one of the best in the industry. That's how I got roped into joining that project. Project? What project? It was a project aimed at reorganizing the nation's top-secret information. The goal was to build a new system using multi-dimensional programming theory. You're just saying words? I know what each of those words mean individually, but not together like that. I was asked to join the project by an agent of the government.
It doesn't sound like something a top Pomeranian would know anything about.
To me, it just sounded like another challenging job. However, this project was also the target of a secret plot. Bet you can imagine the kind of crime the nation's top secrets might attract. Never thought for the life of me I'd ever have to deal with spies. It was never made public, but every organization in the country moved on this one. And then one day, the name of a certain programmer emerged as a suspect. And it was yomiel. I was the guy who built the core of the system. The police arrested you, and then that incident happened. You escaped from the interrogation room and took little Lynn as a hostage. By the way, Detective Jowd, when was it that I was proven innocent? About 6 months after your death. I'm so sorry, yomiel. 10 years ago... Yep, the meteorite hit. Killed him. Ouchie wouchies. Why did I say that? My soul was split from my body, and I lost everything. I was sealed in eternal darkness. I existed in this world, no question about that. Guess it's just going on its own. But nobody noticed my presence. What good were my powers? They didn't help anybody. Not even the passage of time could heal my pain. In fact, it only made it worse. The music is banging, by the way. I wanted to disappear. But I wasn't even allowed to do that. The way Lynn described it is exactly right. Sinking slowly toward the bottom of an endless sea. An overwhelming feeling of loneliness and despair. And I wanted all of you to suffer what I was suffering. And so that's why you murdered Alma. That's right. I wanted you to know what it was like to lose everything you cared about. I wanted you to feel the same pain I felt. What? It was the twisted wish of a mind poisoned by infinite loneliness. And then, as I was plotting my revenge, I had an idea. I came up with a plan to use these powers of mine to make a deal. There's something I just don't understand about that deal. I'm sure your powers would be very valuable to them, but what would you get out of the deal? A new life. A life? I asked them for 2 conditions. Number 1 was that they help me with my revenge plot. And the second was a rebirth for me. Rebirth. A new beginning, eh? I didn't care if it was a fake life, an artificial life. I just wanted a physical receptacle for my soul, a name, an identity, an everyday life. I wanted to grow old in a society that would accept me. And finally, I wanted to die surrounded by a loving family. That's the kind of life I asked them for. A completely man-made life. That's right. I knew I couldn't hope for anything more than that. To make it all come true, I knew it would take a lot of money and a lot of power. So I decided to ask a national government to help me. And their response in the end was betrayal. Yeah, they kind of just took the fragment and dipped. They were making their moves much more carefully than I suspected. They sent spies to this country and researched my powers on their own. And they even figured out what Temzik was all about. You had no idea they were doing all this? Not at all. I was a fool. So then, why did they go to all the trouble of making a deal with you? Why didn't they just steal a hunk of the Temsic meteorite from the park? They couldn't. After the manipulator incidents, research was conducted in this country too. A report was submitted to the government about the source of the manipulator's power. The old dancing detective. By Inspector Cabanella and the old pigeon guy, eh? At first, the government didn't believe the report. But then they decided to put the park under surveillance just in case. Surveillance, huh? Just looks like an ordinary peaceful park, but there are armed agents there at all times. Oh, that guy's an agent? Don't tell me that odd leaflet guy is one of them. Okay, never mind. No, not him. He's just a plain old odd person. Alright, just the local weirdo, I guess. Everyone needs a local weirdo in their community. That park is like a silent battlefield on an international scale. So that's why they couldn't steal the Temsic meteorite. And lately, under the pretense of building a housing site, they've been working on a plan to destroy that park in order to secure the Temsic meteorite. So that's it, eh? Interesting. So the upshot of your grand deal was this. Yeah, it's the ending I deserve. But at least there's one thing you must be happy about. What's that? You've managed to seal me away at the bottom of the sea forever. Well, shall we get started? Started with what? Bringing Detective Jowd back to life, of course. What? What good will that do now?
But we promised! We promised Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla we'd save them.
And we can't do that without you, Detective Jowd. I've been guided by fate tonight to this place. I won't give up now. Alright, fine. Let's see where it leads us. Here we go, then. Back to 4 minutes before your death. So on the true identity of Sissel, our main character here, the only person I can actually think that... Hang on, let me pause. The only person I can guess, because if I'm going with the theory that it is someone we know about, then the only person I can think of is Alma, which is Jowd's wife. But that's purely a shot in the dark, and it would also not totally make sense because she died 5 years ago, and why would she, like, only emerge as a spirit now, tonight? So, that's, like, my only guess, would be that it is Alma, but again, doesn't quite make sense. Give me 1 second, I need to drink some water. The water has been consumed. Hopefully that helps get me through the rest of this. Anyway. So, where are we headed? We are not headed anywhere, Detective. What? There was only enough fuel on board to launch us away, Detective. We will run out soon, and that will be our destination, Detective. What are you talking about? That would mean that you're trapped here, too. Oh, he's a robot. By the way, I am not human, Detective. Sick trick. I am a remote-controlled robot, Detective. What? I think he made himself perfectly clear. Your country's use of technology is just plain off. We get that a lot, Detective. Interesting. Okay, so it doesn't really matter that this guy's going down with the ship. Hang on, I feel like I need to burp. I know I've been doing that a lot, and I apologize for that. Why would you go to all the trouble to do this? That's nothing but a shell there, it's hardly a threat anymore. Commander Sith likes to provide against any possibility, no matter how small, Detective. Possibility? What are you talking about? There's no need for you to know, Detective. But there is a need for you to die, Detective. Oh. Yeah. Apparently. Now it is time to say goodbye, Detective. In the end, your fate remains the same, it seems, Detective. Grrr. Camilla, forgive me. How did he end up there? He was falling, like, towards the door. It isn't over yet.
It isn't?
Remember what that big masked man said? Any possibility, no matter how small. Possibility. In other words, there must be a chance here somewhere. The possibility of turning the situation around. Can you do something, yomiel? Probably not. Let's... Whoa, okay, there's... Huh?
What is it, Detective?
Look at Yomiel's shell. There's no aura emanating from his body. Yeah, because the meteorite's gone? Of course there isn't. The Temsic fragment is gone. Could this change his shell give us some kind of lead? Okay, so that's Missile.
So what do you think, Sissel? Do you think we can rescue Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla?
I can't say for sure right now, but we do have a lead. The change in Yomiel's shell. That's the key to this thing.
Then let's go grab that key!
Power distributor. Whoops, 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 whoops. Okay, guess I have to go there. Hello? I figured it out. I know what this possibility, no matter how small, is that they are afraid of. What is it? My time was perpetually stopped thanks to the power of Temsic. His body cycled between the moments that separated his life and death. Right, but not anymore. The Temsic fragment has been taken away. Exactly. So what does that mean? I get it. Your body won't come back to life anymore. The moment the Temsic fragment was removed, my shell became a regular corpse. So let's see, that means we can go back? Back to 4 minutes before your death?
But, wait a minute! Exactly when is that death?
That's simple. We'll find out. When we get there, let's move! Guess that's our only option. Is it taking us back all the way 10 years ago? That would be insane if so. That would be like the farthest we've ever gone back. I fell back through the cracks of time for what seemed like forever. And then I saw it. The final death, at the end of this long night. Who exactly am I? I've already seen all of the clues. All I have to do now is remember. The final journey to the truth starts now. Okay, that's the end of the chapter. Thought it was gonna be... They're leaving us on a huge cliffhanger there. Okay. This is... We are like right at the end. I would not be surprised if the next one is the last chapter. Maybe there'd be another one after that. I don't know. I think I said it earlier, but 20 would be like a nice round number of chapters, but I don't know how they would stretch it like 3 entire more, you know what I mean? But that's it. Okay. Thank you for joining me. I am more invested in this than ever, which I didn't think was possible, but here we are. Thanks for tagging along. I hope you've had a good time. Hope you join me next time. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.